Good morning, everyone. Today, we are diving into a critical aspect of pharmaceutical and biomedical research animal research ethics, focusing specifically on CCSEA and IAEC guidelines. As the researchers at NGSM Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, it is our legal and moral responsibility to understand the framework that governs how we interact with living subjects in the lab. This session ensures we maintain a standardized approach to ethics and compliance with our institution. The ethical animal research focuses on the essential balance between driving scientific progress and maintaining the humane treatment of animals. In India, the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the PCA Act of 1960, serves as the primary legal foundation ensuring that all research activities are conducted within strict humanitarian boundaries. By implementing rigorous regulatory oversight, we verify that every experiment is scientifically justified and the protocols are specifically designed to minimize animal suffering. The Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 serves as the definitive legal authority for animal welfare in India. Its primary objective is to prevent the infliction of unnecessary pain or suffering on animals during any form of interaction or experimentation. The scope of this act is broad, protecting all living creatures with the expectation of human beings. Ultimately, it provides the essential statutory basis that governs all rules and ethical standards of animal experimentation across the country, and these laws are excluding human beings. To ensure precise compliance, we must understand how the Act defines its core subjects. An animal is categorized as any living creature that is not a human being. An experiment refers to any systematic program or project where the animals are utilized for testing or the acquisition of new scientific knowledge. Finally, a breeder is identified as any individual or institution responsible for breeding animals for their scientific research or commercial trade. These definitions help us to identify which activities fall under regulatory oversight. The CCSEA, which stands for Committee for the Purpose of Control and Supervision of Experiments on Animals, is the primary regulatory authority in India. It is a statutory body operating under Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Its core function is to prevent and provide overarching supervision of all research activities to ensure that the laboratory animals are not subjected to any form of unnecessary pain or distress, both during the experiment and in the subsequent recovery period. The IAEC, Institutional Animal Ethics Committee, serves as the localized regulatory body within an institute, responsible for monitoring all animal experiments and at the ground level. Every IAEC must include a chairperson, a biological scientist, a veterinarian, and a CCSEA nominated member for external oversight. While larger animal studies may require direct national approval, the IAEC has the specific authority to review and approve experiments involving small animals like mice, rats, and rabbits. The IAEC holds critical responsibilities to ensure that all research remains ethically sound. Their primary task is to rigorously review research proposals submitted through Form B to verify that the study's objective justify animal use. The committee focuses on three R's: replacement of animal models, reduction in numbers, and refinement of procedures. They also conduct periodic physical inspections of animal house facility to ensure welfare standards are constantly maintained. Proper breeding protocols are essential for scientific reliability and ethical standards. All breeding must occur strictly within the CCSEA registered facilities to guarantee oversight. A critical requirement is maintaining specific pathogen free status SPF to prevent infections from confounding results. Furthermore, rigorous colony management must prevent genetic drift and ensure the physical health of offsprings, providing researchers with standardized animal models. The physical environment is critical in animal welfare. The environment must be strictly controlled with a temperature of 22 plus or minus 3 degrees Celsius and humidity between 30% and 70%. A light cycle of 12-hour light and 12-hour dark is mandatory to maintain natural circadian rhythms. Regarding space, cages must provide enough room for animal to express natural behaviors, preventing stress associated with overcrowding. The quality of science and ethics depends on how experiments are performed. Every procedure must be carried out by or under the direct supervision of a qualified personnel. To adhere to reduction, researchers must provide a statistical justification for using the smallest number of animals required for valid results. Finally, we must avoid duplicate experiments unless it is scientifically vital to verify the previous results. This slide covers critical welfare procedures during active research. Anesthesia is mandatory for any procedure like to cause more than momentary pain. Following procedures, animals must receive professional veterinary attention during the recovery phase. When necessary, euthanasia must be performed humanely using only CCSEA approved methods such as carbon dioxide or anesthetic overdose to ensure a painless death. The standardized cage dimensions and environmental enrichment required by CCSEA to ensure the animal welfare. It demonstrates the use of nesting materials and tunnels that allow animals to express natural behaviors and reduce physiological stress. Proper housing steps ensure that hygiene, ventilation, and space are strictly maintained to meet the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 standards. These physical standards are essential for reducing unnecessary suffering. The movement of animals into a facility is strictly regulated. Animals must be acquired only from registered breeders or approved transferors. Once they arrive, a mandatory quarantine period is required to observe them for disease before they join the colony. During transport, we must minimize stress by providing adequate ventilation, food, and water in species appropriate containers. Accountability is maintained through meticulous record keeping. We must maintain detailed usage records for every animal and project, along with health records tracking veterinary care. These documents are not just for internal use, they must be kept up to date and made available for CCSEA inspectors at any time to demonstrate our ongoing compliance with the law. It is important to understand the consequence of non-compliance. The CCSEA has the authority to suspend or revoke the institute's registration if the guidelines are violated. This action is typically taken after a shock cause notice and investigation. If registration is revoked, the institution is legally barred from conducting any further animal research, which can devastate ongoing scientific programs. The Act prescribes specific penalties for violations. A first offense may lead to monetary fines. Subsequent offenses can result in increased fines or even imprisonment for up to 3 months beyond legal penalties. Serious violations can lead to the blacklisting of the principal investigator, effectively ending their ability to conduct animal research in India. While global standards focus on the three R's, Indian guidelines emphasize a fourth R, the rehabilitation. When animals are not euthanized for scientific reasons, at the end of the study, we have an ethical duty to provide post experimentation care. This may include rehoming programs or lifelong maintenance in specialized facilities, ensuring that these animals live out their lives in comfort. To summarize, compliance follows a clear 5-step path: registration, establish the institute with CCSEA, committee formation, constitute an IAEC with CCSEA nominee, ethical approval, submit Form B and wait for written approval, execution, perform research following all welfare and SOP guidelines, reporting, submit annual progress report to the regulatory body. For those who wish to study these regulations in more detail, please refer to these primary references. They include Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, the CCSA Compendium of SOPs, and the International Guide for the Care and Use of Laboratory Animals. These documents provide comprehensive details necessary for every lead researcher to remain compliant. Thank you for listening.